Someone once spent 21,000 US dollars on a chair. And that strange part is, it actually makes sense. The idea stayed with me. Recently, I was reading the introduction of the book called The Art of Spending Money, and it made me rethink about how people use money. The author tells the story from his life. He was working as a valet at five-star hotel in Los Angeles. And one day, he overheard the conversation between two wealthy men. One of them said that he just spent 21,000 US dollars on a chair. When I first read this, it sounded unbelievable and incredible. I mean, 21,000 for a chair. The author and his colleagues at that moment felt the same way. They couldn't understand why would someone spend money like that. And then the man said something very simple thing. When you have money, this is what you're supposed to do. And this is where it becomes interesting, because the sentence is not really about the chair, it's about expectations. And this made me think, maybe people don't spend money for the object itself. Maybe they are trying to show something. Maybe they are trying to show status, or show that they belong to a certain group. And I think that creates a kind of competition, not obvious but subtle. Mm, People compare themselves. Actually, they look at others, and they try to match a certain level. What I mean is, they are not just buying things for themselves; they are positioning themselves. And this connects to a bigger idea in this book. The author says that many people confuse money with happiness. And they believe that money will automatically give them happiness, or more money will automatically make them happier. But then he refers to Carl Jung, and Jung had a very different view. He said that happiness comes from very simple things, from health, from relationships, from meaningful work, and from having some kind of meaningful purpose, some kind of perspective or purpose in life. So money is not really the source of happiness. It's just a tool. And this idea sounds simple, but when you think about it, it's not that easy to apply. I mean, easier said than done. Because in reality, we're constantly influenced by society, by what we see, by what others do, and by what is considered normal. And this is where it gets interesting for me. It feels like society influences how we think about money, what is what we buy, and what we consider valuable. But when I started thinking, who actually influences society? Where does this come from? Maybe society is not something abstract. Maybe it's just a group of people, or just people with influence, people with money, people with visibility, and they shape what others see. They define what looks normal. They and over time, people start copying that. And I think this creates a cycle. People see that, people copy that, and it becomes normal for them. So in the end, um, maybe the problem is not money. Maybe the problem is how we are influenced and how we define value. So this is what I understood from this book, from introduction of this book. And honestly, I feel like I need to think more about it. And I'm gonna keep reading this book and see what else I discover. By the way, guys, I today in my speech I used American accent. It was not easy to pronounce the words as American people. It's very hard to correct your speech at the same time, um, and it's very different from British accent. For example, R. Actually, I still can't pronounce correct R sound. R. For example, when I in the words girl or early, earn. It's very difficult. And light L and dark L. For example, light it means a lift, long. What about when it comes to a dark L, or like all? It's hard to pronounce. It's not actually like L. Usually we used to pronounce when you talk about like when you use it in light L, like in word like, it's much harder. Um, for example, when you pronounce word well, not well, you need to pronounce like well, well. It's very hard to me to use the dark L, or feel, not feel, 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 go, fall, feel, fall, and so on. Such kind of words, it's very hard to pronounce. It means dark L is hard to pronounce. It is not L actually, as I have already mentioned. L L. Um, I will keep trying, and I'll keep I'll try to correct my speech to be more fluent and sound like an American people, and try to improve my speech. Thank you. See you next time.